All right, Chris Popper here in Bangor, and I'm joined by the Tremont Town Clerk, Katie Dandurand. And Katie, Tremont residents, and I know that I'm living here in Bangor, I've received mailers from Center for Voter Information, and people are a little bit concerned about that because it may be, first of all, voter registration is public information, so people can, in fact, buy that list, correct? Not from you, but they buy it from the Secretary of State, I believe.
That is correct.
Okay, so if you are receiving, both political parties buy lists to send out mailers, so it's not that unusual. That's how you get all your mail this time of the year, is political parties buying lists. But this is a third party, the Center for Voter Information. And so they're it's a little bit misleading what they're doing.
So there are some nonprofit groups out there that are trying to obviously get folks to register to vote or vote absentee for election.
Yeah.
With that being said, there are some mass mailings out there not authorized by the Secretary of State's office to send these mailings out to folks to say that they are not registered in the town that they reside in. That is not all true information. What they may be trying to do is just to drum up the request for people to go out and vote absentee so that they don't have to stand in lines that may be longer than normal due to the COVID-19 in November. Folks can call the town offices to verify that they are registered and also request the absentee, but please be aware that it's nothing that's the town nor the state is sending out.
So people can call the town or their city that they live in. They can also go, can't they go to the Maine Secretary of State's website to request an absentee ballot?
That is correct. You can do it a couple different ways. You can request it online through the Secretary of State's office. They in turn send a message to the towns to verify that those folks are registered, and if so, to get that ballot sent out to them as soon as we receive them here in the town office. Or contacting your municipal clerk directly and getting that request done over the phone as well.
I know that there's still a question as to finalizing the ballot. I mean, with ranked choice happening, when do you expect to have ballots so that way you can fulfill absentee requests?
So we are all hoping that we receive those within the next week and a half. However, by law, we have to have them available 30 days prior to the election.
Okay.
They must be made available to folks that either want to come in and vote in person prior to the election or mailing it out to them. There is that mail time. If we mail it to them, they've got to vote on it and mail it back to us and get it back before those polls close on November 3rd.
They can, do you have a drop box at the town of Tremont that people can drop them off? Or do they have to mail them back?
Currently, we do not have a drop box. We are open our normal hours, 8 to 4. We haven't changed anything as we've come back due to COVID closings. So we are open our normal business hours. If folks aren't comfortable coming into the town office, in our hallway vestibule, there is a drop box. That is the normal wooden box that you see at most town elections. Drop it in there, it's locked, and we'll open it at the end of the day. So there's a couple different methods that you can do. Drop it off in person, mail, or in that drop box outside.
Okay. And then when do you start counting absentee ballots? Do you have to wait until the day of the election, or have they granted you some special dispensation that you can run them without getting the results and then plug in the stick, or how does that work?
So there is early processing of absentee ballots available for towns if they choose. The town of Tremont has not chosen to do that. We're going to run them at the polls centrally that day. We can run them all day during those polls opening. Some larger towns may choose to do that, but you do need to make the Secretary of State aware of that choice. And there was a mailing that has gone out to the towns requesting that documentation if you choose to do that.
And Katie, on November 3rd, where do people vote in the town of Tremont? And how, the polls are they what, 8 to 8 that day, or what is
correct.
Tremont?
Yeah, that is correct. The town of Tremont will have their polls open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voting is downstairs in the Harvey Kelly meeting room. And there's just a limitation of 4 voters in the building at one time, so there may be some lines. So yes, we are promoting absentee ballots if you can do that.
Okay, so obviously, as you said, we do request your absentee ballot. You can either pick it up in person or call the Secretary of State's office or call you directly, and you'll mail them out.
That is correct. And folks get close to that deadline of the November 3rd, where you're not sure if it's going to reach us in time via mail. Our polls are open again 8 to 8, and you can drop it off in person at the polls as long as it's here before 8 p.m. when we close.
And it's against the law to vote twice intentionally.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.